And with that said, drum roll as we move into and we start the draft with pick number 1, and it's gonna be Nigve, and I'm gonna have to ask you to tell me who you picked first and who goes number 1 in the draft, in the GetQuad5 draft, and why you picked that person. Nigve, please. That's the perfect moment to stay muted. Mr. Nigve, let's go.
All right, so I just changed my number 1 pick based on the information that was given just now.
Yep.
So I was going to go with someone else, but I'm going to go with Paradox.
All right. Let me just find him in the list as we go. Paradox to Nigve. Okay, so Paradox goes number 1. Xanthem is not gonna get Paradox. And do you want to give an explanation to why you picked Paradox, or do you just want to let it slide? Nigve.
There's a lot of excellent players in the first 7. But because of the money and him showing up in the chat, I think it's going to be quite active.
All right. Okay, well, thank you very much, Nigve. And we're going to move on to MM. And you guys won't be able to see this on the stream, but I do have a channel open where MM picks his pick. And I have to give it to you guys. This one might be something that you guys weren't ready for. I've seen a couple of lists from people where this player was like ranked 20 or 16, 17, 18 on this list, but he's gonna go 2nd overall, and that is Ganon. Our own Ganon from Sudden Death, of course, is gonna be 2nd overall, picked by MM. So that's the 2nd pick. Maybe something that you guys weren't ready for. I know that the other admins in GetQuad5 was not ready for that. Because every single admin, apart from myself, had Ganon way low on that list. We made a list, and I'll tell you why later. But yeah, Ganon goes 2nd overall. As we move to Racket, you have your first pick. Please tell me who you picked and why, if you can.
I picked Diki. I think he's a really good player.
All right. So stealing the Milton pick, I think a lot of people probably expect Milton to pick someone like Diki, if Diki was still available. And only because he's a good player, or have you talked to him, Racket, or anything?
No, I don't know. I like his playing style. He's a really reliable player and he plays very good, and I really want to team with him.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Racket. All right, so Diki 3rd overall. So already we got Paradox, Ganon, and Diki gone from the draft. As we move on to our Finnish creature. Please tell me your first pick and why you picked him.
I'll go with Dev.
Dev? Damn. I love it. So, Dev is, of course, Brazilian, but he lives out in Portugal or Spain. I'm not sure. So he has low ping, of course. A very known player. He was at QuakeCon, played together with GT when Merc couldn't show up. And he has a big history, of course, in the Quake World scene. But please, Creature, tell me why you picked Dev over all the other players.
Well, what I've seen him play, he seems pretty good. and I just checked that he's playing from Europe, so should have good ping.
He looks pretty good, yeah. I mean, that's true. Dev is a very, very good player. Well, okay, thank you very much, Creature. And we move on to Xanthem. Same goes for you. Please tell me your first pick and why you picked him.
Okay, I'm gonna pick Henu.
Ooh. All right. Henry goes to Xantum. Please tell me why.
He's a really solid player. Play with him quite a lot. I was considering like Shaka, but one thing I wanted to try out is to play with players that I haven't played with in the draft before.
True. And, when people think about Henu and Diki and, the Finnish players, a lot of people think about the Viper Squad and Milton, but people tend to forget that Xantum, you're actually also a part of the Viper Squad. You're the lonely Swede in the Viper Squad team. So you will also have played with a lot of these players. So it's kind of, people kind of tend to sleep on that, myself included. But in a draft setting, playing with Henu, I think that's a brilliant choice that also locks Milton away from one of his potential picks. So that awesome pick, Xantum. Thank you very much. Let's move on to Mr. BPS. And this is your time. I can think of a couple that I think that you might want to pick, but I really want to hear your first pick and why you picked him.
I'm gonna pick Razer, my old comrade in battle. Played with him a lot. A solid player, great team player. Even though he's pretty inactive lately, he does other stuff, play other games, Dota and perhaps Diablo. But when tournaments start to heat up, he always shows up for the semifinals and deliver the killing blows. He's great when it really matters.
Yeah, I think he's going to be active for this tournament when the hype gets on and there's prize money and Quake is a fun game to play. So I think he's going to be active when something is happening. So I think that's a brilliant choice. I was already hovering over the name because I kind of suspected that you would pick him. Thank you very much, BPS. And of course, that leaves the last pick of the first round to Milton. And I'm going to have to await the chat because Milton cannot join us on voice. So I'm going to have to wait for them to tell me who Milton picks. And he's typing right now. And let's see what he says. Ooh! All right. Sorry, guys. Milton is going to go the Russian route. And he's going to pick someone who I thought would make for a very good captain, actually. If we had more Division 1 teams, I'm pretty sure that this player would be one of the captains. And there are 2 Russian players that could be the one, if you ask me. And this time it's not going to be Billy. So can you guess who? It's going to be Sepp. Milton picks Sepp, and he has a Russian on his team. Sepp, of course, an amazing player, if you ask me. I think he's probably top 3 in Russia right now, together with Billy the Kid and Dot. Dot is not in this tournament, I don't think. No, he's not. So he's not available to be picked. But Sepp, Billy the Kid, and Dot, and I guess Gore as well are very, very, very strong Russian players. But yeah, Milton's first pick is going to be Sepp. Unfortunately, I cannot ask him why, but maybe the answer is just because he's an amazing player. And that concludes round number 1. Paradox went first to Nigve. picked Ganon. Racket picked Diki. Creature went the Brazilian route and picked Dev. Xantum picked Henu. And BPS picked his fellow sudden death member Razor, also known in previous years for being on the firing squad together with Reppy and the guys. And Milton picked Sepp. And that's going to bring us to round number 2. And we're going to go back to Mr. Nigve, our own Norwegian captain. And Nigve, please let us know your second pick and why you picked him.
Well, there's 3 players on my notepad now, and I think both Paradox and all the other 3 players know who they are, and it's extremely difficult to choose. But because of the history, I'm gonna go with Gamer.
Ooh, all right. So, an old Slackers member going your way. So we got Paradox and Gamer. So we pretty much have a Slackers team building up here. And any specific reason that you picked them, Nigve?
Well,
or do you just want to build on that Slackers?
I don't want to give him too much. So Gamer is one of the best 4-on-4 players of all time, along with Paradox.
All right. I like it. I like it. Thank you very much, Nigve. As we move on to MM, and he's already let us know that he's going to go to the Netherlands. And he will pick Wimpe. So Wimpe, of course, has been he's been picking before. I don't remember if he was a captain or if he was just doing the picking, but he was amazing to have on the voice channel, because he's a very funny guy, trust me. So Wimpe already gone as well. So a lot of actually some people might think it's surprising. This was not how my own mock draft looked like anyways. So I'm happy to see that, because that opens up the draft so much in my head. Let's move on to Racket. Racket, your second pick, and why you picked him?
I'm gonna pick Oko98. I pick him because he's a very nice guy and he's a really good in team play.
Oko98, also a product of sudden death, and a really funny guy. You have to be Swedish to understand it, but Oko98 is one of the funniest people around. Also been playing 4-on-4 forever, never really went inactive. He's been playing for such a long time and never really quitting. So yeah, that's a very solid pick. He's very likely to be active. So it's a reliable guy. So Racket now has Diki and Oko98 on his team. Let's move on to the Finnish creature, and let's see what your second pick is and why you already have Dev.
It will be hang time.
Ooh, so now we're going to the UK for Mr.
Yeah, I think he is a really solid team player, so I want him.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a very good pick. Hang time. In past years, he's often been selected for like Division 2 captaincy and so on, because he's a very good player and a good leader, but has always kind of been known for the Division 2 thing. But I think he definitely belongs in Division 1. And with this setup, the way we're doing this draft, that allows for that to happen. So congratulations, Hang Time. He's going to be on a team together with Creature and Dev. And with that said, let's move on to Xantum for your second pick and why you picked him.
All right, this is getting really, really hard.
It is indeed.
I'm currently having some discussions with Heno.
That's smart, actually, and I advise other captains to do the same. Talk to whoever you've already picked, and then see if they have any tips, because sometimes people click differently when they play. So I think that is a smart thing to do.
All right, so I think we're almost aligned, but and I said that I'm gonna play with players I haven't played with before in the draft.
Right.
But I think yeah, fuck that. I'm going Chaka.
All right, so we're going the safe Swedish pick. Shaka, or actually a lot of people, I think, expected Shaka to maybe go even sooner, but that's a very good pick. Any reason as to why?
He's a really solid player. Played with him before. I think people mostly know him from mixes, but he's really solid and really Yeah, he's a solid team player, and that's my main focus.
Absolutely, as it should be. And I agree. I think BPS has picked him in the past as well, and he's always been this kind of not a lot of people talk about Shaka, but he's always been up there, and I think it's a very, very solid pick. So Xanthem now together with Henu and Shaka, that's looking strong. I'm not gonna lie. Let's hop over to BPS. You already have Razor. Let me know your second pick and why you picked him.
I'm chiming in on the need to think a few seconds more.
Talking to Razor?
Not really, but I'm confusing my text file, my notepad here. But I think I found a decision here.
Take your time. Don't feel any stress.
Oh, I'm done actually. So I'm going out on my box here and picking Gore of Russia.
All right. So another Russian getting picked, and this time by BPS. Okay, let me know more about why you picked Gore.
Not really sure. He's very active, very... I always find it annoying to play against him. Haven't played a lot with him. He seems to be a great player.
I mean, if he's annoying to play against, that probably means he's a pretty good player. And especially kind of like the way Xanthem said that he hasn't played a lot with Henu and Shaka maybe in a draft setting. That could also be cool to get to play with Gore. So I think it's a cool pick. And I like it. That's looking different from previous seasons that you've been a captain BPS, where you've often gone the Swedish route. I'm sure I'm not the only one who remembers that you often pick a very Swedish team, but this time you're going to Russia, and I like it. So good luck with
that. Would be stupid to only go with the flags.
True, absolutely. Okay, thank you very much, BPS. And that brings us to Milton. Let's wait for him to respond in the channel. For the last pick of the second round. And while we wait for that, I'm also reading the chat a little bit. Yeah, Say, Mackler, Insane are all still available. And there's a bunch of other names that are available as well. There's a lot of Polish players, Goniet's Girl, a lot of good players still in it. And Milton has made his choice. And just when I speak about Polish players, he picks a Pole, and it's gonna be Mackler. He's gonna be the first Polish player to get picked. And goes before Gonietz and Tom, which is well done by Mackler. He's managed to impress Milton. And that means that now we reverse the picking order after this second round was done. So now Milton will get to pick again as the first pick of the third round. And this will be their last Division 1 pick. The way the rules work is that anyone in Division 2 and Division 3 are of course allowed to play in a higher division. So if you're in Division 2, you can play in Division 1, and of course not the other way around. So each and every pick is always important for the team as the big squad. But of course, you always pick your Division 1 primarily. So Milton is now gonna do his... or make his last choice, make his last pick for Division 1. He will get to pick his Division 2 captain after that. But first of all, of course, his fourth player. Let's see what he picks. He's currently typing. Ooh, and there goes Mr. Say. And where is he? He's over here. All right, so we have Milton's Division 1 team done. We have Milton, Sepp, Mackler, and Say. And I gotta say, on no pun intended, on paper that looks very strong. But I think every single Division 1 team is gonna look strong. But Sepp, Mackler, and Say backing up Milton, that's a difficult team to beat. But there are other strong teams on this list. So yeah, congratulations to Milton for picking a very strong team, first of all. And good luck in that Division 1 tournament, or Division 1. Let's hop back to BPS as the order is reversed, which means that BPS picks second in the third round. BPS, you have one pick remaining of your Division 1 squad. Please let me know who you picked and why.
Okay, I'm going to Poland and I'm gonna pick Tom.
Ooh, there you go. So the polls are going one by one here.
Yep, solid guy, very active, very sharp, also great dueler. All round good guy, I think.
All right, so you now have Razor, Gore, and Tom. So one Russian, one Pole, and one sudden death member or Swedish player. How do you feel about your team?
Superb.
Superb. All right, thank you very much, BPS. And we move on to Mr. Vikpe or Xantum. And you have one pick remaining. You already have Henu and Shaka. Please let me know your final pick for Division 1 and why you picked them.
Okay, we're also gonna have a piece of the motherland. We're going Glad.
Ooh, all right. So more Russia. Let me find him on the list. Glad. All right, tell me more. Why Glad?
He's a solid team player. Like I said, it's a priority.
That's the recipe for
considering
success.
Other players that have perhaps higher, I don't know, better mechanics, better on POV, etc. But I think he's a real solid player, and I think that we have a good solid core. So
Yeah,
should be nice.
yeah, I like it.
I'm happy. I'm very happy with my team. Of
Yeah,
course, the other teams looks really, really good as well. But yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'll get back to the whole talking about teams a little bit after the draft or after the Division 1 draft is over. So I'll get back to you on that, Xantum. Let's move over to Creature. You already have Dev and you have Hang Time. You have one from Brazil and one from the UK. Please let us know who your final pick in your Division 1 team is and why.
It's getting hard now. Good. I'll take Billy the Kid.
Ooh, there goes another Russian. A lot of Russians and Poles being picked. And Billy the Kid, what do you think about him? I'm a big fan of Billy. I think he has a very cool play style. Still a very young player when it comes to 4-on-4. I don't think he's been around the 4-on-4 scene for too long, but I am very excited about what kind of player he can become. What do you think about him, Creature?
Yeah, I haven't really played with him, but he seemed really good in the Kenya tournament in the spring. So
True.
So that's the reason, basically.
All right, so you now have Dev, Hangtime, and Billy the Kid on your Division 1 squad. Thank you very much, Creature. I'll get back to you on talking about the squads a little bit later. Let's move on to Racket. Racket already has Diki and OK98, and it's time for you to make your final pick for the Division 1 squad. Please tell me who and why.
Yeah, this is a really hard one. I'm gonna pick Splash, and I'm gonna pick Splash because he won me on DM2 in a one-on-one tournament.
That's a great reason. I mean, I don't even need to ask you anymore. I mean, that's fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's move on. So we're going back to MM. He already has picked Ganon and Wimpy. And I'm going to have to wait for him to write because he can also not join us on stream. But let's see what he says. Ooh, he's also going back to Poland / well, that's actually not fair. He's going back to Poland and he's going for Mr. Insane. Let me just find him on the list as I am blind. apparently. There we go. He was hiding on the left. Now has Ganon, Wimpy, and Insane. That looks like a very strong team as well. A lot of active players, minus maybe... I don't know. Is Insane very active lately? I'm not actually sure. But yeah, Insane makes Division 1 as well. And we have one more pick in Division 1. But look at the amount of players and amount of good players that are still available in the division in the draft. Like, there are so many people to choose between, and we only have one more guy making it to Division 1, which is awesome. I love seeing it. And we're going to Nigve. I need to know your very last pick for Division 1 and why you picked him. You already have Paradox and Gamer. You already have a Slacker squad. You couldn't pick in... Yeah, let's see what you think. Nigve.
I was so close to getting the
Insane.
perfect team with
Yeah.
with the Slackers squad.
One pick away.
But then again, I have a player I think is equally strong as Insane, and he's a Danish player, so that must mean something to the team. It's gonna be Niv.
Yep. People even said it in the chat. They were expecting it, and it's gonna be Niv. And you now have your full team. So while the GetQuad draft, so the way this is gonna work and why there's an empty column here is because Division 2 and Division 3, there will be one team that doesn't have a parent team in Division 1. And that's the number 1 seed of the Division 2. Of all the remaining names, the number 1 seed will become the captain of this team. After that, Milton will pick his, BPS, Xantum, Creature, Racket, and Nigve, and so on. And they will only pick the captain. After that, we'll have the draft on like Wednesday. I think if the captains are available, it'll be Wednesday. And we'll do the Division 2 draft then, and more players will be added to the different squads. But while the admins check who that is going to be, let's talk to the players. We cannot talk to Milton, or the captains rather. We cannot talk to Milton. He's already got Sepp and Mackler and Say, but we can talk to BPS. Looking at the teams thus far, were there any surprises for you, and who do you think is looking the strongest?
Yeah, surprises wise, I think Milton's team is surprising me a bit. What should I say? A bit strange choices there.
I think it's actually the first draft we see Milton without any Finnish players. I might be wrong, but I feel like there's always a Henu or a Diki or one of the Finnish players on Milton's squad. But this time he's got a Russian, a Polish player, and a player from the UK.
Yeah. And I mean, Santom's and Nigve's teams are looking fearsome at first glance. But even looking at every team looks very even. So it's making for a great tournament, I think.
Yeah, okay. Is there... Sorry, I just lost my train of thought because I was reading Discord. I was gonna ask... is there any... no, that's not fair to ask. I was gonna ask... No. Let's not go there. Let's actually move on. Thank you very much, BPS. Xantum, were you happy with your picks? Was there anyone that you thought about getting that somebody stole? Was there any curveballs thrown at you that you wanted? Apart from Paradox, of course.
Okay, yeah, I was going to talk about that. Nigve stole Paradox. And then stole Ganon.
So everything went wrong for you.
I mean, it's super hard. It was really hard to plan your picks. I just made a list, and then after I got Henu, I discussed with Henu. Henu was agreeing with me on the rest of the picks, basically. So
Yeah, let's phrase it
Let's
like
see.
this instead. Who are you happy with your team? Because to me, your team looks very, very strong.
Yeah, I'm super happy. I can't believe nobody picked Chaka earlier. I think it's real strong. It's also very active, and I think that's one thing you have to consider. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
if you're active or not.
Yeah, for sure. If you had to pick one team that you're a little bit extra afraid of, and you're not allowed to say Milton, who would you pick? Which one of the teams are looking very, very strong in your eyes?
It's so hard to say. I'd say the Paradox and Gamer Nigves team.
Yeah, the Slackers team. It's going to be known as the Slackers
the
team.
old schoolers in great shape will be hard to beat. You can't brush off all that experience.
True. Well, good luck, Santum. And let's move on to Creature. You have maybe the least expected team, if you ask me. Not because the players are bad or anything, but it does look like a weird mix to my eyes. Creature, Dev, Hangtime, and Billy the Kid looks like a very weird mix. Looks like players you probably haven't played a lot with, so no like comfort picks. If you ask me, what do you think about your team, Creature?
Yeah, well, I like it, but definitely I wanted to pick also players I kind of have gotten the picture that they're good, but I haven't really played with them that much.
Yeah.
But like looking when playing against them, they seem good. So
Yeah,
I think that's kind of why I went with this route.
Yeah.
And also Mackler was one I wanted, but Milton took it.
Okay, same question to you then. If there was one team that you're a little bit extra afraid of, which one would it be if you had to pick one of the teams?
Well, obviously Milton's. I think all the teams look really good, but yeah, the Paradox Gamer Nikve team.
Yeah.
I think they could be really strong.
Yeah, I think that was actually very good picking from Nigve. I have to commend him for that. I think that was really smart. All right, thank you very much, Creature. Let's move on to Racket. First of all, are you happy with the team that you managed to get? Diki, OK98, and Splash. And who do you think is looking scary?
Yeah, I'm very happy with my team, and I think Milton is going to be hard to play against. I think he will win the whole thing.
True. And it's always a good bet to bet on Milton. But I think there are plenty of those teams, or plenty of teams here that could challenge that. Of course, he has good support from Sepp, Mackler, and Say. But yeah, like the previous captains have said as well, we've got a Slackers team, half a Slackers team, add a Norwegian and so on to that team, and
that's a really interesting team. Nigve and Paradox can go far in this tournament.
All right, thank you very much, Racket. Let's also ask Nigve to close this round off. What do you think about the teams? Were there any surprises to you, Nigve?
Yes, I couldn't believe my luck. I really wanted to play with Insane, Wimpy, and Shaka as well. But any one of my picks could have been a first pick. Paradox Gamer and Niv, and all the players are better than me, so it's up to me to up my game really.
I love that. Yeah, I think your draft really worked out, and I mean that team is going to be very interesting to follow. I think that can be really interesting to see how it goes. Thank you very much, Nigve. We're gonna move on because we have one more pick to make. Each captain is going to pick one more player. That's going to be the Division 2 captain of their squad, so their entire team, right? they're gonna pick their Division 1 captains, and we already have the first captain selected. This pick was selected by the admins. So what we did was we made lists of players and where we deemed them to be, who we thought, like, if this player is not picked by the captains, he should be a Division 2 captain instead. And what we decided on was that Greco is gonna be the Division 2 captain of the parentless or the orphan team. And so yeah, that's the first captain of the Division 2 squads. And after that, we move on to Milton. And he's gonna pick the Division 2 captain for his team or his squad. And yeah, let's see what he picks. I'm not sure how active he is on Discord right now, but hopefully he hears me. Maybe John or someone can notify him. And yeah, so the way it works is the Division 2 captain, for example, can of course play in Division 1, especially for like group games or whatever in the round robin, whenever someone cannot be available. But I mean, Sepp, Mackler, and Say, I feel like they should be able to. I mean, they're all pretty active, so he probably won't need that rather. But still, you want your entire squad to win, and that's the reason we use a squad system, which means that Division 1, 2, and 3 are all linked together. It's only Greco's team that will not have a parent in Division 1, and that's because of the amount of signups. But yeah, of course, Milton's team and Sepp, Mackler, and Say, they can always help their Division 2 team with advice and so on. They're not allowed to play in Division 2 or 3, but they can help them and try to achieve victory in all the divisions. I mean, imagine if one squad wins all the divisions, that is a success story for that squad. That means they've been helping each other, they've made excellent picks, and they all work just really well together. And the Division 2 captain for Mr. Milton is Overflow from Switzerland. And there you go. Unfortunately, I cannot ask Milton for the reasoning because he's in Mexico. But yeah, that will be the absolute first captain pick of the Division 2 captains and the Division 2 draft. And that leads us to BPS. And BPS, you've been here before, you know how this works. Let me hear who you want to have as a captain for your squad in Division 2.
I'm going to Poland again. I'm going to a rising star. He's playing in the Jewel League. He has 5-0. In the Jewel League, he is a promising player. Young player, he's 23 years old, I think. He's also very cocky. Who am I thinking of? Guess who, Andeh?
Max?
Correct. I picked Max.
There you go. So BPS now, I mean, I love that introduction as well. That's great. Thank you very much, BPS. I don't even have any questions for you. So that's BPS's pick, Max from Poland. And yeah, I think that's a very solid pick. He is... It was a big meme over the Kenya Invitational that whether he was Division 1 and Division 2. And I guess in this draft, with this amount of players and this amount of good players, he did make Division 2, but a captain. So I think that's a very smart pick from BPS. And Close is reminding BPS that Max is not 23 years old. He's 46 apparently, but who knows? Or 29. People are saying different things. Max is about 27, Gonyets says. Well, whatever. He's a good player. He's very good. Let's move on to VicPay. Xantum. You have also been here before. You know how this all works. You will have a daughter team in Division 2 and another one in Division 3. And hopefully you guys can help each other out. But first, we need to know who you want your captain to be in Division 2.
going for the lamest of them all.
Are we going to Norway or Ireland?
Ah, touche. Lord Lame.
All right, we're going to Ireland, and Mr. Lord Lame from Ireland, the lamest of them all. That is true. It could have been Link as well, but you know they're pretty similar. Any particular reason apart from Lord Lame being a good player?
I played with him before. He can be a bit sloppy in his team play. He's better on duel, but he's always trying to improve, and you always have fun with that guy.
True. I was about to say you're always gonna have a good time when it comes to Lord Lame if you're on his good side. Watching him troll is very, very fun, and he can be a force to be reckoned with in Division 2 especially. And yeah, I think it's a brilliant choice. Well done, Xantum. And with that said, let's move on to Creature. You've also been here before. You've done this before, and it's time for you to pick your Division 2 captain. And also tell me why.
This is basically a suggestion from my team, so Sniegov.
Ooh. All right. So we're going with another Polish player. And suggestion from your team, you said?
Yeah.
I think it's a smart pick. I've seen Sniegov play recently. In mixes and so on, and he's been playing really well. So I don't know. Did they say why? Your teammates? You don't have to say who said it, but did they have any explanation? Sniegov, for those who don't know, by the way, is also known as Shamoth. Maybe more people know him as that.
Well, yeah, he's been active, and that's obviously a big reason. But yeah, of course, I know him also.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Creature. And that's looking good as well. Sniegov, a captain in Division 2, or Shamoth, or whatever you want to call him. Let's move on to Racket. Racket, you've finished up your Division 1 squad, DK, Oki98, and Splash. Also I also want to mention that, by the way, and ask you, was keeping Oki98 and Splash together intentional?
Yeah, I think so. They play so much together, so I think it's a good thing to do.
True. I agree. So, people playing together and just knowing each other very well will always help when it comes to team play. Kind of the same, I would say, for BPS and Razer. They know each other very well, and some others. So I think it's a good idea to keep Oki98 and Splash together, as Lord Lame just blasted us. But yeah, Racket, please let me know who your your Division 2 captain will be and why.
Well, this is a really hard one. I'm gonna pick Zero with the X.
Ooh. All right,
and
so the Swedish Zero.
Yeah, I'm picking him because I think he's probably the best player that I can pick.
That is true. Absolutely true. Zero is actually someone who usually resides in Division 1, so I'm almost surprised that he's been slept on. So that's a very, very good pick, if you ask me, Racket. Thank you very much. And all right, let's see what MM is gonna pick. Of course, we're gonna have to wait for him to type on the Discord, and also listen to to Mr. Bogo Joker. Thank you very much, Lord Lame. By the way, thank you so much for the support. Thank you very, very much. See if I can turn that off. Maybe it's already triggered and it's too late. All right, let's see if Mr. MM has picked someone. Oh, he has. All right, so we're going to Poland again. And Mr. MM is going to pick Salmon or Samon from Poland. I think that's a very good pick as well. Unfortunately, we cannot ask him why he picked it. him, but it is what it is. And last but not least, oh my god, I'm sorry guys, you guys get to hear it. Actually, let's turn it off. I know how to do that. Okay, there we go. You won't have to listen to Mr. Poker Joker anymore. Nigve, however, we want to listen to you. You already have an amazing Division 1 team. You picked half of Slackers. You got Paradox and Gamer. I mean, I bet you wish you could add Murdoch or Zero or Insane or someone of the Slackers team to that. Unfortunately, you missed Insane by 1 pick. Picked Insane instead, so you didn't get to pick him. Instead, you went with Niv, and that was your Division 1 team. Now we need to know who you're going to pick for your Division 2 team. Who do you want representing Team Nigve in Division 2?
Right now, there's a lot of good players, like 12 players I could choose for this Division 2 team, but I'm going to go with Kip because he has gone to the Milton School of Quake and is really focused and an extremely nice guy.
That is true. I agree. Kip is an amazing guy. And you're right. He's gone to the Milton School of Quake. And Milton has even been given Kip advice from Kip's home, or the other way around. Maybe Kip was at Milton's home. Whatever the case, Milton has been coaching Kip. And I think it's a very good pick. So that gives us the entire Division 2 lineup for their captains. It's going to be Kip for Team Nigve, Salmon for Team Zero for Team Racket, Shamoth or Sneakob for Team Creature, Lord Lame from Ireland for Team Xantum, Max for Team BPS, the Polish player, the cocky player as BPS put it, Overflow for Milton, and of course Greco all alone without a parent team. And that will be the Division 2 captains. And I believe, well, just stay tuned on the Discords, but I think it's going to be on Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure. But if it is, it will be spammed everywhere. And as you can see, there are more people remaining in this draft than I think we had overall in some of the drafts. Like, there are so many players remaining to pick from for the Division 2 captains. And don't forget, after the Division 2 captains and after the Division 2 draft, we also have a Division 3 to pick. So everybody will be picked. Nobody's getting left out. And yeah, so look forward to that. Thank you very much to all the captains. I wish you a sincere good luck in the tournament. I hope for some amazing games. I also want to remind you, once again, $3,000 is on the line. That's a lot of money. Yeah, best of luck to all of you. Thank you very much for joining me in this draft. All right, guys. Let's conclude this entire thing. Whew. It's always interesting when you do this and you have so many things open, and you have to talk to people on Discord. You have to talk to people on, as in text form on Discord and on voice, and it's a lot. But let's have another look. Actually, let's go back. Let's talk about the teams for just a split second. We got Nigve, Paradox, Gamer, and Niv. That's a very strong team. 50% slackers. And that's kind of like a hype factor in itself. I'm almost a little bit sad that Nigve didn't get Insane. Even though Insane is not Murdoch or Zero, he's still a very good Polish player. And of course, you know, a slackers guy, right? So that would have been even cooler. But, you know, Insane being on a team with Wimpy, Ganon, and MM, of course, known as a very good Form 4 player. Ganon picked second overall, maybe surprising to some. And then Wimpy Insane. I think this is gonna be a good pretty much overall team. I wonder who's gonna be like the star player on this. Maybe Ganon. I don't know. MM, of course. I mean, any one of them could be, but you know, you never know how it's gonna play out. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Then we got Racket, Diki, OK98 and Splash. Keeping OK and Splash together is a good thing, I think. They play well together. They know each other very, very well. And then you add Diki to there. He could as well have been a captain on this draft. Diki could have been a captain. I've heard from the past that Diki is a good captain as well. And I know that from being a part of the GetQuad admin team. Diki is a good captain, so Racket picking Diki, I think, is a very good thing, because Diki and Racket can both be kind of like a captain role and try to mentor their team. Even though OK98 and Splash don't really need mentoring, but maybe could elevate them both to a slightly higher level, and then this team could be very competitive. It kind of lacks one of those, star players. It doesn't have like Xantum or BPS, Milton, or that kind of thing. But Racket is a very solid player. Deke is a very solid player. And OK98 and Splash, I feel like could be almost like a support role to that. And they're always active and able to pull their weight. So I think this is going to be one of those like solid teams where you don't expect one to shine above the rest, but maybe be like a team effort. Creature, Dev, Hangtime, and Billy the Kid. I think this is a very, very interesting team. Like, Dev is a very, very good player, but also maybe not as experienced in the European Forum 4 as the other players on this list. But he's a very strong player, and individually, especially, a very, very, very strong player. You got Hangtime, of course, very well known in Forum 4 for well over a decade, or maybe even two. And you got Billy the Kid, the Russian player, who is maybe even a star player on this team, where he might take the carry role, so to speak, and kind of pop off in a couple of games. Creature, of course, always solid. Dev, very, very skilled. Hangtime, always solid as well. But yeah, I feel like Billy the Kid has the potential to top frag and do things like that. Maybe not the best player yet when it comes to team play, but he does have all the capability of just popping off in a game here or there and getting like 100 plus banger, right? That kind of thing. Like 100 bomb or something just every now and then out of nowhere. Then we move on to Xantum, Henu, Shaka, and Glad. This could also be like, there are 4 players in this team that could all be captains. Henu could have been a captain, Shaka could have been a captain, and even Glad could have been a captain. Glad has been a captain in the past. Maybe not in Division 1, not sure if I misremember that, but Glad has been a captain in Division 2. I know that for a fact. And like, this is a very good team. Obviously, Xantum is like the star player. But I feel like Shaka, Henu, and Glad can be amazing backups to that. And they're active, right? Whenever things like this go down. So that's going to be amazing. BPS, he went with the Sun Death pick in Razor. Razor, a very, very good old player. Not active the last like 10 years or so. He's been around like here and there. But if he picks it up, and if BPS can talk him into playing a little bit more and do pracs and so on, because I know that Razor really enjoys 4-on-4, so whenever he gets the chance to play real 4-on-4, he definitely will. And then he's got Gore and Tom as well. Tom, of course, coming off that success together with Team Poland in the Kenya Invitational. Very good player. He's usually playing with the Polacks or the Polish players, but just a very, very strong player, right? And Gore, of course, he could also have been a captain. Like, he could have been a captain. That's how good Gore is. I know that Gore was up for discussion when we didn't know who the captains were going to be. Some people were talking about Gore, and that just goes to show that Gore is a very strong player. And then, of course, we got Milton, Sepp, Mackler, and Say. Just a very strong team. Sepp is a star player, if you ask me. I think he's one of the... It's either him or Dot that are the best Russian players. So I think this is an amazing pick by Milton. And then you got one of the very strong Polish players. And then you got Say, one of the best players from the UK. So this... And then, of course, when you front load that with Milton, that's always going to be a strong team. So, yeah. I mean, I always love doing this draft. I think it's such a fun time. It's so interesting and fun to poke the players about their picks and ask them why they picked players and just hear their explanations. And then I think it's a great time every single time. And then, of course, we got the Division 2 captains: Kip, Simon, Xero, Shamoth, Lord Lame, Max, Overflow, and Greco. And that draft will probably go down on Wednesday, if nothing else. You can always check the Discord